Nvidia was down 1%, below the 130s. Again, we also had other big players like AMD down roughly 2.8%. Intel was down even 5.5%. We even had Micron that unfortunately reported earnings, and the stock is down over 16% in after earnings, right? I will do another episode on Micron's taking a closer look at their earnings, but too long, don't watch. I personally believe this is an opportunity, but again, stay tuned for that episode. So on today's episode, what I really want to do is first just share my overall thoughts on the semiconductor space, then some bullish news that we got from Micron, even though their earnings were bad, and some bullish news we also got from Dell Technologies for Nvidia investors. So let's take a closer look. But before we go anywhere, make sure to hit the thumbs up, make sure to hit the subscribe button, check out the pinned comment for a special offer at fool.com/Jose, and also check out my free daily semiconductor newsletter at whatthechipHappened.com. I'll obviously be covering Micron's Technologies earnings in that newsletter tomorrow morning. So make sure to subscribe, completely free.
I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
All right, so let's start off with just the overall market. So the overall market seems to not be excited with what the Fed said today, and that's creating a nice selling pressure, right? It wasn't just the semiconductor market that was down. We see big companies like Microsoft down 3.7%. Apple was down 2%. Amazon was down 2.4% as well, right? So the overall tech market was on a red day today, and this was really much driving the semiconductor market. Now, one thing that I found pretty interesting is the semiconductor market wasn't as down as some of the big tech, right? I mean, usually when tech is down, the semiconductor space usually takes a bigger hit. To me, it would mention that maybe the semiconductor market has gotten so much hate in the past few months that now the market is saying, hey, look, you took a beating already. We're not going to punish you as much, right? Because I mean, a lot of semiconductor stocks in the past 2 to 3 months, outside of those AI plays that are doing really well, like Broadcom, have seen, most of them have seen a huge decline in stock prices from their peak. So I think the market has done a nice amount of selling in the semiconductor space, and maybe we're getting closer to a bottom here. Just my overall thoughts. I'm not acting on it. It's just how my thought process is going. So I wanted to share that with you, the viewer. But there are some opportunities that I think are looking pretty juicy. Like I mentioned, Micron reported earnings. The stock is down. And while I'm going to do a longer video in Micron tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, the reason I believe Micron is very attractive right now is this is reminding me a lot of Broadcom and the other ASIC players, where the AI story is here and the AI story is actually doing really well for Micron. Unfortunately, there are other industries that Micron hits, and those other industries are not going as well as many expected. But I believe, very similar to Broadcom, that eventually there's going to come a point where the AI space is going to help beat revenue dramatically for this company, that is going to help valuations increase in forms of stock price. So I think that's what's happening right now with Micron Technology. I believe Wall Street, whoever, is not seeing the bigger picture, right, with the AI market. And I think the AI market is doing amazing for Micron Technology. So normally I don't invest in the memory space. I did a video yesterday on Micron Technology about what to expect for earnings and with the stock price drop. I mentioned I personally wouldn't do an earnings game because an earnings game is a gamble. But if we did see a stock price decrease, I personally would enjoy it as long as things looked okay in the AI space. As for me, that is my bullish thesis for Micron. Maybe your bullish thesis for Micron might be something else, but the AI space is evolving at rapid levels, and it seems like the market did not pay attention to the earnings call. So this is one that I am going to try to add to my portfolio and make it a big position, because at 87, that looks damn attractive. Now I wanted to kind of bring more into what Micron said that Nvidia investors should be excited about. And pretty much they mentioned that the HBM market, which correlates kind of to the AI space, right? Because AI accelerators need HBM. We've talked about it in the previous memory episode for Micron, where I pretty much did. I don't think anyone in this space is discussing how HBM works like I am when it comes to investing in the semiconductor market, right? Everybody's just saying HBM is going to be good for AI. But why? How is it going to be good for the memory market? If you want to learn a little bit more about that, definitely check out my previous episode on Micron. While it is kind of correlated to pre-earnings, there's a lot of information that you're going to learn from that video if you want to learn about the memory space. But they mentioned that the HBM market will continue to grow at massive levels throughout the next few years. In 2028, they expect the HBM total addressable market to grow 4 times from the $16 billion it is in 2024. So quick math, that's about $64 billion in 2028. And they believe by 2030, it will exceed over $100 billion. Now, the main reason for this is just that AI capacity continues to grow. Now, they even increased their total addressable market for 2025, where previously it was $25 billion. Now it's exceeding $30 billion. Now, for them to increase their total addressable market, it means some of the big players are increasing maybe their AI chip manufacturing capacity, the amount of chips that they're selling. And if that's true, the big player in the AI space and the biggest AI accelerator company right now is Nvidia. So they're increasing their total addressable market in just one quarter by about 5 billion. I think that is very, very bullish for Nvidia because they're the ones dominating in this space. So after hours, Nvidia is up roughly 2%. I believe the market heard a lot about the AI space from Micron Technology. We can see it with Nvidia, that Nvidia investors liked it, but Micron investors, in my opinion, are getting scared. I think they are getting scared. I think Micron is at a great opportunity here. I barely say that, right? It's very rare for me to say I believe something has an opportunity unless I have high conviction. I've talked about it with Nvidia. I've talked about it with AMD. And I think for now, based on this reaction, based on what I read, Micron, in my opinion, if these levels stay, is at a great opportunity for long-term investors. Obviously, volatility can continue. I'm not looking for a quick buck in a quarter. I'm not looking for a quick buck in 2 quarters. I'm looking to add an asset at a low valuation, at an attractive valuation that I believe in a year, 2 years time frame will be a lot more than what I invested in. And I think Micron is looking like that. Again, I'll do a video outside of that. So Micron overall just mentions, hey, look, the AI market is here. The AI market is real. We're seeing this growing at dramatic levels till 2030. So overall, that can help be more of a bullish evidence that the Nvidia space is going to do really well as long as they continue to innovate at a rapid pace. And Nvidia is definitely doing that, right? There's nothing in my mind right now that's telling me that Nvidia has any real competition in this space. Obviously, I've talked about AMD, but I've always mentioned AMD is not a competitor to Nvidia just yet. We also have ASIC players, big tech developing their own ASIC AI accelerators. I've done plenty of videos explaining why ASIC chips are nowhere near going to replace Nvidia's chip. I might do another video on that because unfortunately, again, the market, and this is where I feel like sometimes I have a small edge. There's times when I feel the market is overlooking something. And that small edge, I'm not saying I'm smarter than your average Joe. I'm not. I'm just your average guy. But because of that little bit of experience that I have in the semiconductor market, I get to see little bits of times when I see my probability of being right increase. It doesn't mean that I'm gonna be right about this. I could obviously be wrong, but I believe my probability of being right is a little bit higher right now. So with Nvidia, we're seeing strong demand there. The other good story that we heard is from Dell Technologies, actually. And you guys know me, I don't invest in AI server makers. I think the hardware space is very, very expensive, very, very competitive. So I'm not saying I'm bearish on Dell Technologies. Again, you might just have seen a glimpse of how my mind works. I'm looking a lot in forms of probability. And for me, the probability favor is not there for Dell Technologies. or kind of the server maker space. But obviously, they are an important player. Today, we did get kind of this tweet from, I'm not sure, this is an employee at XAI, and they mentioned Christmas arrived early at Colossus. For those that are not familiar, Colossus is the supercomputer by XAI. Now, this is a supercomputer right here that they're building here, right? So these are those AI server racks. Then Michael Dell, the CEO of Dell Technologies, responded with enjoy. And then an analyst responded with GP200 question mark, and Michael Dell mentioned yes. Now, the reason I believe this is very, very important is we have been hearing reports and rumors about overheating issues, about server issues, about delays with the GB200, delays with the Grace Blackwell. But if XAI, an important player in the AI market, is receiving the GB200s, if Dell Technologies feels very comfortable to announce that they are shipping this out, in my opinion, it shows evidence that everything is going well with the GB200 line. So nothing that would really worry me at all right now. So maybe this episode was a little bit too long of a rant. I'm sorry for that. I just sometimes really like to let you in my mental space of what I'm thinking. Again, I'm not saying I'm right or that I'm a genius by any source. I just want to share what my overall thought process is, so maybe you can evolve with your own thought process as well. So I would definitely love to hear from you, the viewers. What are your comments? What are your thoughts on Micron? Do you believe this is proper, that the stock is down roughly 16%? Why or why not? Like I mentioned, I'll be doing a video on this later today or maybe tomorrow, depending on the request that I get here from the viewers. But Micron did share some negative stuff for players like Intel and AMD. I am going to say that there are certain industries that the semiconductor market is lacking in, but the AI space, the AI accelerator, which is pretty much the Nvidia market, is doing phenomenal. So take care, have a good day, and see you all next time.